everyone, welcome back to Learning with Haneen. In today's video, we're going to be going over the January 2025 Geometry Regents examination. Before we get started, I just want everybody taking the June 2025 Geometry Regents to know that because of the changes made to the standards, there have been changes made to the Regents examination, so there's a new reference sheet, there's our new question stems for the questions that you're going to be asked. So I'm going to hopefully make a separate video on some of the questions that are released with the new question stems, go over the reference sheet so you guys know exactly what to expect when you take your exam on Wednesday, June 11, 2025. I apologize for the lateness in these videos, but I will do as much as I can to make sure that you guys are 100% prepared for your Regents, and I know you guys will do great. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Put those comments in the comment section and ask me any questions you guys have, whether it's about the overall format of the Regents or any specific concept-based questions. So without further ado, let's get started. So question number 1 asks, on the set of axes below, triangle A, B prime, C prime is the image of triangle ABC. What is the scale factor and center of dilation that maps triangle ABC onto triangle A, B prime, and C prime? So we know it's a dilation. So a dilation can either be a shrinkage, where we can see that the shape shrinks in size or becomes smaller, or it's an enlargement. So what we can see to in our shape on our graph is that this is our pre-image. So this is our original triangle. And after our dilation, this becomes our new triangle, A, B prime, and C prime, which is our image. And what we can see is that each of our points have shifted upwards and they've gotten bigger, and they've created a shape that is much bigger than the original pre-image. So I can already tell you that my scale factor, SF, my scale factor, is going to be greater than 1. So that means I can eliminate answer choice 1 and answer choice number 3. Now, is my center of dilation about the origin, or is it about the vertex? And what I can do to tell this is look at each of my points. So I can see that B and B prime, they're at different points. C and C prime, again, at different points. But what I do notice is A. A does not change. A remains the same point for the pre-image and the image. And if I was to dilate about the origin, all of my points would change by the scale factor. And I can see that A does not change at all. And this tells me that my center of dilation is going to be at vertex A. So I know from that it's going to be answer choice number 4, which is going to be my answer. Next question. 2 says, line segment PAQ has endpoints whose coordinates are P is -2, 6, and Q, which is 3, -4. What are the coordinates of point A such that PA to AQ is 2 to 3? So from the context I'm given, I know that this question is going to be a partitioning a segment. And for the Regents, it is very important that you guys know the formula for partitioning a segment. There's many formulas, but I'm going to give you the formula that I'm most comfortable with, the one that I use most often. So for the formula, for the x coordinates, what you're going to do is you're going to do x1 plus the ratio times x2 minus x1. And for the y coordinates, you're going to do similar. So you're going to do y1 plus the ratio times y2 minus y1. So I know here that my points are -2, 6 and 3, -4, and my ratio is 2 to 3. So that means that for my x coordinate, my ratio is going to be 2 over 5, and for my y, it's going to be 3 over 5. So I take the first part of my ratio from my x over the total number, and for my y, I take the second part of my ratio over the total. So now to apply my formula. So my x1, and it's very important that you guys read these questions carefully because they can and tend to switch the points of the segment in terms of order in order to be sure who actually pays attention to what my x1 and my x2 and my y1 and my y2 is. So here it tells me that I have a segment, I have P, I have A, and I have Q. The ratio from P to A is 2, from A to Q is 3. So this is my x1 and y1, and this is my x2, y2. So when I go to my x, I'm going to do my x1 is -2 plus my ratio, which I said is 2 over 5, times my x2, which is 3 minus -2, and please be careful of your signs. So here this simplifies to -2 plus 2/5 times 5, and in the end you get your x to equal 0. That is going to be the value of your x. Now if you want to do our y's, we're going to do the same thing. But if we're on a time crunch and you see yourself running out of times, we can see that it's not answer choice 1 or 2 or 3, but it is indeed answer choice number 4. But I'm going to show you guys how to do the y as well. So my y1 is 6 plus my ratio, which is 3 over 5, times my y2 is -4 minus 6. You're going to get y equals 6 plus 3 over 5 times -10, and my final answer is going to be y equals 2. So again, it's going to be answer choice number 4. Now, question number 3 says, on the, let me just erase all of these parts so there's more space to the rest of these questions. Okay. Answer choice. Question number 3 says, on the set of axes below, congruent parallelograms ABCD and RSTU are graphed. Which sequence of transformations maps ABCD onto RSTU? So the first thing that I want each and every one of you when you guys do these questions is to make sure that you align your points correctly. So I am given parallelogram A, B, C, and D, and parallelogram R, S, T, U. The way that it's written is the way they're connected. So A is to R, B is to S, C is to T, and D is to U. So whenever you're performing your transportation, be sure that you are corresponding your points correctly. So for me, I would just go through a process of elimination. So let me take answer choice number 1 says. So it's going to say a reflection over the x-axis followed by a translation 10 units to the left and 1 unit up. So say I want to try answer point A, and I know it must map onto point R. So point A, it is at 2. So point A is at 2, 4. It says reflects over the x-axis. So if I reflect over the x-axis, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my x the same and I'm going to negate my y. So now my new point is 2, -4. So I'm going to graph that here, and it's going to be right here. This is going to be my point. So this is my A prime. And then it's going to say, followed by a translation 10 units to the left. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1 unit up. And I land right here. But I can see that is not the correct answer because A does not map onto T. A maps onto R, so I know answer choice number 1 cannot be it. Now, answer choice number 2 says, I'm going to take another coordinate just so that I can free myself up some space. A translation 4 units down, followed by a reflection over the y-axis. So let's say I want C. So I know C must map onto T. So it first says translation 4 units down, so my C, just clear up the space a little bit. So my C is at it's going to be at 8, 1. So my C is going to be at 8, 1. I'm going to translate 4 units down. And it's going to take me to, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to make me land right here. So now I'm at 8. I'm at 8, -3. Now it says a reflection over the y-axis. So reflection over the y is going to mean that I'm going to change my y to change my x to a negative, or to negate it, and I'm going to keep my y the same. So that means that I'm now at -8, -3. So if I go to -8, -3, so it's going to be 8, and then I'm going to go down to 3, so I'm going to land right here at t. I'm going to land right here, which is correct because I know that C maps onto T. So that answer choice definitely works. So I know that my answer choice number 2 works. It's always good also, with these questions specifically, to do another point to double check. But if I check with A, it says translate 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to land up here at 2, 0. Then it says a reflection over the y-axis, so I know for my y-axis, I negate my x, so it becomes -2, and I keep my y the same, and I end up here at R, which I know according to my steps that A corresponds to R, C corresponds to T, so I know that that is going to be my correct answer. Now, question number 4 says, triangle ABC has a right angle at C. If AC is 7.7 and B, measure of angle B is 24 degrees, what is AB to the nearest 10th? So, triangle question, draw out the triangle. It's easier to visualize what you're given rather than just base it off your own head. So, it tells me I have a right triangle. I have a right triangle, and it tells me that it's a right triangle because there's a right angle and it's at C. Please label your right triangle as C because that is what it says on the question. And I'm just going to fill in my missing points. So I have A, B, C. I read it A, B, C. Tells me the measure of AC is 7.7. The measure of angle B is going to be 24 degrees. And it's asking me to find the length of AB. So, this is a classic trigonometry question. So please remember your SOHCAHTOA. Your sine is going to equal to your opposite over hypotenuse. Your cosine is going to equal to your adjacent over the hypotenuse. And your tangent is going to equal to your opposite over your adjacent side. Now, I'm given an angle. Determine if something is the opposite or adjacent side. Let me examine my angle. So my angle is right here, and the side I'm given is across from the angle. So I know that is an opposite side. Okay, now, what is the missing side that I must find? Well, the missing side that I must find is across from the right angle. And because it's across the right angle, I know that this is my hypotenuse. So I need something that calculates opposite over hypotenuse, and I know I'm going to be using my sine. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do sine of 24 degrees. Degrees. Please remember, it is degrees, and I'm going to show you why. So sine of 24 degrees is equal to my opposite, which is 7.7 over x, which is my hypotenuse. So now, I'm just going to clear up a little bit of space. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So let me clear this up right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a simple cross multiplication. So I have 7.7 equals sine 24x. And then to eliminate, to get x by itself, I would divide by sine of 24. Now, on your calculator, in your calculator, what you're putting in is 7.7 divided by sine of 24. What I want you to do, prior to putting anything into your calculator, what I want you to do is to go in your calculator, and I want you to hit mode. When you hit mode, you're going to see normal, float, radian. Please change your radians into degrees. because this is where you're going to get your mistake if you do not change your radians into degrees. Remember, measure of angle B is 24 degrees, so you need to change your degree measurements into degrees. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to type into my calculator 7.7 divided by parentheses sine 24. I'm going to hit enter, and my answer is going to be 18.931, and it keeps going. So if I recall, my question says to the nearest tenth. So to the nearest tenth, this equals 18.9. So, and that is going to be answer choice number 1. So please make sure that you change your mode. Change that mode from radians to degrees to avoid messing up anything. Okay, I'm going to clear up this space so we have some space to do our next question. And as always, if I'm going too fast, you can pause the video and rewind and go back to the question that you are stuck on. Now, next question says, question number 5 says, given triangle PQR and triangle LMN with line segment PQ is congruent to line segment LM, which additional statement is sufficient to always prove triangle PQR is congruent to triangle LMN? Please draw out your triangles. Please draw them out. You're going to avoid making mistakes. So I'm going to draw my 2 triangles right here. Right here, I'm going to have triangle PQR. And I'm going to draw my other triangle. They look a little different in size, but same thing. LMN. Line up your points. So P is lined up to L, P and L. Q lined up to M, Q and M, and R lined up to N. They're lined up. Now, it says that PQ is congruent to LM. Which additional statement is sufficient to always prove that both triangles are congruent? So, if I examine my answer choices, all of my answer choices say that line segment QR is congruent to line segments MN. Okay, I have 2 sides that are proving congruency. If I recall my triangle congruency theorems, I know that I can have side, angle, side. I can have angle, side, angle, and I can have angle, angle, side. These are the only triangle congruency theorems, and hyperleg, of course, for right triangles, that are acceptable. We cannot accept any other theorems. So there's one more I'm missing, which is side, side, side. So side, side, side. Please remember your triangle congruency theorems. Okay? It can only be side, angle, side, angle, side, angle, 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 side, hyperleg, and side, side, side. Now, I'm going to examine all my answer choices. So this one is saying I'm going to have triangle angle R being congruent to angle N. So that means that I have side, side, angle. Is that sufficient to prove that they're congruent? No, it is not a triangle congruency theorem. Next one says angle Q right here is congruent to angle M. So now I have side, angle, side. Side, angle, side. Side, angle, side is a triangle congruency theorem. Okay, let's keep going. So the same line segments are congruent. Now it says angle P and angle L. Now I have angle, side, side. I can't have angle side side as a triangle theorem, so I'm going to eliminate that answer choice. No, there's a lot of markings, I apologize. And now it says angle P and angle M. Angle P and angle M, how are they going to prove their congruency? They're not even congruent to one another. And even if I'm going to have one triangle proving angle side angle and another proving side angle side. No, not the same congruency theorem, so that does not work either. So I know for question number 2, my answer choice is going to be 2. For question number 5, my answer choice is going to be 2 because I examine my triangles. I'm going to simplify the triangles a little bit more for you guys to draw them out again to kind of eliminate any confusion. So I have my triangles. I had P, Q, R, and I had L, M, N. It told me PQ and LM are congruent, and all my answer choices stated that QR is congruent to MN. And then answer choice 2 said angle Q and angle M are congruent, and because when I remember my triangle congruency theorems, I know that angle side angle is a angle side angle side. I apologize. Side angle side is a congruency theorem that works. I know that that is going to be my answer choice. Now, question number 6 says, just gonna free up some space here. Okay, says the equation of a circle is x squared plus 6y equals 4x minus y squared plus 12. What are the coordinates of the center and the length of the radius? So this is going to be mathy. So x squared plus 6y equals 4x minus y, sorry, I apologize. Okay, let's just write that again. X squared plus 6y equals 4x minus y squared plus 12. So I'm going to rewrite this in order to be able to use my formula equation of a circle. So I'm going to subtract 4x and add y squared on both sides. Please leave the 12 on the other side. Keep your consonants on one side. So I have x squared. I'm going to rewrite it as x squared minus 4x plus y squared plus 6y equals 12. Now, what I'm going to do now is, in order for me to write my equation of the circle, I need to complete the square. So if you took algebra 1, if you took algebra 2, or if you haven't, this is how you complete the square. You're going to do b over 2 squared. So you see here we have an x squared and a y squared. That is fine. What you're going to do is you're going to write it as x squared minus 4x, add a little box, plus y squared plus 6y, add a little box, equal to, I'm going to put that on the bottom, 12 plus box plus box. Whatever I add on one side, I must do to my other side. So I take my b from my x squared. So my b is negative 4 divided by 2, which is going to be negative 2. And when I square that, I'm going to get 4. So I'm going to add 4 here. And now on this side, my b is 6 over 2 is 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to add my 9 here. So that means I'm going to add 4 and 9 on this side as well. Now, I need to simplify what I wrote. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change each of these trinomials into binomial squared. So x squared minus 4x plus 4. What I want you to do is you're going to write x, the sign that you have, so minus whatever you did. So when you did negative 4 divided by 2, you got negative 2. So you're going to put 2 over here, squared, plus. Same thing for your y. So you have y. My sign was a positive, so I'm going to add a plus. And 6 divided by 2 was 3 squared. Okay? To my right side, I'm going to add 12 plus 4 plus 9, and I'm going to get 25. That is my equation of a circle. Now, so My equation of the circle was, I'm going to write it up here again, x minus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals to 25. My center is my HK. Okay? So, my H, the sign changes. My K, my sign remains the same. So, for my H and my K, my signs are going to be the opposite of what you see in your question. So here I have -2. My H, or my X coordinate of my center, is going to be 2. For K, I have 3, so it's going to be the opposite of that, and for my K, it's going to be -3. So my center should be 2, -3. So anything that doesn't have 2, -3, I'm eliminating. So I'm eliminating answer choice number 2, and I'm eliminating answer choice number 4. Now, my radius, please, you see this as 25. That is not your radius. Your radius in your equation of a circle is, so I'm gonna, let me erase the bottom over here and give you guys what your original equation of a circle is. So, your equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Or there's another variation of what's inside. So, this is your r squared. My r squared is 25. That means my r, so my r squared is 25. That means my r is going to be the square root of 25. So my r is going to be 5. So that's my radius. So that means that answer choice 1 is my correct answer. Okay? Again, if you had any questions as you were doing the question, pause the video, watch me do it again. If you don't understand, please leave a comment in the comment section. Question number 7 says, a square with a side length of 3 is continuously rotated about one of its sides. The resulting three-dimensional object is, so I have a square, right? And it's being rotated amongst one side. So I'm constantly rotating it around one side. What it forms is, it forms a circular base. So if it forms a circular base, I know that I'm going to be forming a three-dimensional cylinder. Now when it comes to my volume, so the volume of a cylinder is V equals pi r squared h. Okay? So a square has equal sides. So it has a 3 here, a 3 here, and a 3 here, and a 3 here. So the radius is going to be 3. Okay? My height is also going to be 3. Because again, it's only if we think of a cylinder and the shape that it forms, right? Not the best cylinder, but if it's being rotated, it's a square being rotated about its side, it's only going to form half of the circle. So the radius of it is going to be 3. And when I put these into my calculator, I'm going to get 27 pi. And that is answer choice number 3. Okay? This is on your formula sheets. Okay? Question number 8. Line K is represented by the equation 4y plus 3 equals 7x. Which equation represents a line that is perpendicular to line K and passes through the point -5, 2. So, perpendicular line means that the slope of my second line is the negative reciprocal. Which means that I take my slope, I flip it upside down. I'm talking basic terminology. I'm taking my slope, I'm going to flip it upside down, and I'm going to negate it. So if it's positive, it becomes negative. If it's negative, it becomes positive. So let me examine my equation. 4y plus 3 equals 7x. I want my y on its own so I can get it into y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides. 4y equals 7x minus 3, and I'm going to divide by 4, so y equals 7 over 4x minus 3/4. What is my main concern? My slope. Because in order for a line to be perpendicular, the slope must be a negative reciprocal. So the negative reciprocal of 7/4 is going to be negative 4 over 7. I flip it and I negate my slope. So again, if your slope is positive, it becomes negative. If your slope is negative, it becomes positive. Now, I examine my answer choices. So, answer choice 1, this is your slope. This is point slope form. So this is your slope right here. Okay? So, answer choice 1 and 2 tell me my slope is 4 over 7. But because perpendicular lines cause the slopes to be negative reciprocals, I know answer choice 1 and 2 cannot be correct. So, excuse me. So now, they tell me it has to pass through the points -5, 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my points. So, my points over here tell me that I have this is plus 2, this is minus 5, this is minus 2, plus 5. So, and my point is -5, 2. And when it's written in my equation, it's going to be the opposite symbol. So here, my point is -5, 2. And in the third equation, it's written as y plus 2 equals -4/7 x minus 5. But it's not the opposite of my point. When I put the points into my equation in my point slope form, the symbol of the point changes. Even if you forget that, please plug in the point to see which one it would cancel out and make both sides equal. If I plug it into the third answer choice, I will not get them to cancel out each other. But if I put it into the fourth one, they will cancel out each other, and I know that is my answer choice. If you remember that, if I plug in the point, it's going to be the opposite symbol. So this is plus 5, and this is -5, okay. And this is -2, and this is positive 2, okay, that works. So again, for question number 8, answer choice 4 is your answer. Now, question number 9 says, scalene triangle JKL is drawn below. If median LM is drawn to side KJ, which statement is always true? So when I draw a median bisects the line that is drawn to. So KJ, and I'm drawing the median LM, right? And I make M. And this is going to be my median. Okay? When my median does it, it bisects the line segment that it is drawn to. So, what I know is that when it bisects it, this part of the segment is congruent to this part of the segment. This entire segment is 2 times the measurement of this portion and 2 times the measurement of this portion. So if I look at my answer choice, it's going to tell me LM is congruent to KM. Well, that is incorrect, because I know that KM and MJ are congruent. 2 says KM is 1/2 of KJ. Well, that is correct, because when it bisects it, I create 2 congruent segments, and the length of one segment, a part of the entire segment, is going to be half the total of the entire one. And then it says LM is perpendicular to KJ. Well, no, because it doesn't form a right angle. And then answer choice 4 says angle KLM, so this angle is congruent to angle JLM, this angle, which would only happen if this was an angle bisector. But we know it's only a median. And the median is only going to bisect the side that it's drawn to. So I know that for question number 9, my answer choice is going to be 2. Question number 10. In circle O, chord KA intersects diameter YN at S. If measure of arc YK is 120 degrees and measure of arc YA is 105, what is the measure of angle ASN? So they're looking for this angle right here. And they tell me that the measurement of YK is 120 degrees, that's my arc, and the measurement of arc YA is 105. Now, I need to determine the measure of angle X. Well, I'm missing a few few arcs that I want to know the measurement of. What it tells you in the question is that KA intersects a diameter. That means that this portion of my circle is equal to this portion of my circle. And because a circle is equal to 360 degrees, half of the circle is equal to 180 degrees. That means this one half of my circle is 180, and this half of my circle is 180. Now I can find the measurements of arcs KN and NA. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some simple subtraction. So I know that this arc YK is 120 and this entire thing is 180, so arc 180 is equal to 120 minus KN, arc KN, and I'm gonna get arc KN is equal to 60. Same thing for this side, so I know that I have YN again, so I have 180 equals 105 plus, sorry, this should have been a plus because together they equal to 180, plus arc NA, and then that means that arc NA is going to equal to 75 degrees. Now, if I examine my angle, ASN, it is a vertical angle to angle KSY. Okay? Why is that helpful, Haneen? Because if we have the measurements of two arcs, and we want to find a measurement of an angle, and if it's a vertical angle, that's pretty simple because what I can use is my equation that lets me know that the measure of an angle, let me just clear this up so there's more space, lets me know that the measurement of an angle is equal to the measure of the first arc plus the measure of the second arc divided by 2. Okay? So now I know the measure and take the measurements of the arcs that are are the, let me see, I'm trying to use the correct wording. The angle that is within that arc measurement. I know that's not the correct way to say it, but I'm just trying to simplify it. So angle ASN, the arc that it corresponds to is NA, right? And angle KSY, the arc that it corresponds to is arc YK, which measurement is 120. So the measurement of angle ASM is equal to arc 1, so I'm going to just say that's 120 plus measure of arc 2, which is 75, divided by 2. And then when I put that into my calculator, the measurement of angle ASN is going to be equal to 97.5. Answer choice number 3. Question 11. Triangle ABC is graphed on the set of axes below. The vertices of triangle ABC have coordinates A is -3, 4, B is -5, -1, and C is 3, -2. What is the area of triangle ABC? So, what I want you to do is I'm going to inscribe the triangle into a square. So when I inscribe it into the square, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of triangle ABC, I'm going to take the area of the square minus 1/2 the area of the other triangle. So of triangle 1, triangle 2, and triangle 3, which are triangle 1, triangle 2, and triangle 3. So if I find the area of triangle 1, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, and 1, 2. So the area of this triangle is going to be 1/2 of 5 times 2, which is going to be 10. Okay? If you don't do the 1/2 yet, you can do it in there. But I prefer just doing the 1/2 as I'm doing the measurement of each triangle, so you can ignore the 1/2 in the equation. Okay? Triangle number 2, so it has a height of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it has a base of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 by 6. So then I'm going to do 1/2 of 6 times 6 is going to be 18. Now triangle 3, it has a height of 1, and then it has a base of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the triangle is 1/2, 8 times 1, which equal to 4. Now, the area of my square is going to be 6 by 8. So my square area is going to be 6 times 8, which is 48. And I'm going to do 48 minus triangle 1, which was 10, minus triangle 2, which was 18, minus triangle 3, that was 4. And I'm going to get the value of 16. Answer choice 1. I apologize. So here, I just found my mistake. So it's 1/2 times 5 times 2. That's 10 divided by 2, which is 5. So this should be 5. So it's not answer choice 1. So if we do the math again, honest mistake, I apologize. 48 minus 5 minus 18 minus 4 is going to equal to 21. Answer choice number 3. I apologize for that mistake. Again, triangle 1, the area is 5. Triangle 2, the area is 18. And triangle 3, the area is 4. Triangle 1, the area is 5. Triangle 2, the area is 18. And triangle 3, the area is 4. Here, number 12 says, in triangle ABC below, DE is a midsegment, and line segment BD is congruent to DE. Which statement is always true? So it tells me that this is a midsegment, and it lets me know that BD is congruent to DE. So these are congruent. So I have two congruent sides in a triangle, and I have a midsegment. So when I have a midsegment, the midsegment, what it does is that it's always going to be parallel to the third side, and it's going to be half the length of the third side, and it splits the triangle into two similar triangles. So when that happens, I'm going to get similar triangles. I'm going to get congruent angles, because I'm going to have parallel lines. And what is that going to form? So it tells me that triangle ABC is isosceles. Well, I know that triangle. So I know that BDE, I have this side and this side are congruent. But I know because it's a midsegment, it's going to form similar triangles. So when it forms similar triangles, this side is going to be congruent to this side. So BD is going to be congruent to DA, and BE is going to be congruent to EC. And I'm going to get this midsegment. And then I'm going to get this angle and this angle are congruent through corresponding angles. Now, I have this side is congruent, this side is congruent, and when I have two congruent sides in a triangle, I get an isosceles triangle. So I know that it's already not scaling. So I know answer choice 1 is a plausible answer. Now it says BD is congruent to BE. Well, you know that when a midsegment, I create similar triangles, and it creates a ratio between BD and DA for them to be similar, so they correspond into making that entire side congruent to the other side, BE and EC, to make BC congruent to BA. And answer choice number 4 says DA is congruent to EC. Well, again, it's the same thing that was said before, just different proportions. But what I do know is BD is going to be congruent to DA, and BE is going to be congruent to EC, because those are what midsegments form. So I know answer choice 3 and answer choice 4 are not correct, and that leaves me with answer choice number 1. Number 13. As shown in the diagram below, JKL, this line right here, is parallel to MNOP, so parallel lines. And KRN, all of the JKL is parallel to line segment MNOP and KRN. This is also congruent. This is also parallel. And it tells me that OR is congruent to ON. And it tells me that if measure of angle POR, so this angle right here, is 1/16, what is measure of angle LKN? So what is the measure of this angle right here? This is my X. So, first thing I'm given. Well, I have a triangle, and it shows me that two sides are congruent. Two sides are congruent. I know my angles are congruent. So I know that this angle and this angle are congruent. So angle ONR and angle ORN are congruent. Now, if I recall my exterior side triangle theorem, I know the measure of those two angles, so angle ORN and angle ONR, are going to be equal to angle POR. And I know because both of my angles are equal, they're going to have the same measurement. So I can just write it as 2x equals 1/16. Haneen, why are you doing that? You'll see. So then I'm getting this, and I'm going to divide, and I'm going to get x equals 58. So this angle is 58. This angle is 58. Right? Let me just erase all these markings, but please remember those markings. So this is 58, and this is 58. Right? And I'm looking for this angle right here. Well, I know that when I have parallel lines, I can create alternate interior angles. So if I have this angle right here, this might be the long step, but this is the first thing that I saw when I was solving. So this angle right here is going to be congruent to angle ONR. So angle JKR is congruent to angle ONR. So that means that this is also 58. Okay? And the angle that I am looking for is a supplementary angle to angle JKR. So that means that angle JKR plus angle LKN equals to 180. Because I know angle JKR to be 58, I can figure out angle LKN. Subtract by 58 on both sides. The measurement of angle LKN is going to equal to 122. Answer choice number 3. There's a plethora of ways to solve this question, but whatever you see first. But please be careful when you're marking up your diagram. Also be careful because the diagram is it's not horizontal, it's vertical, so it's a little bit difficult to see, but please make sure that you mark those correctly. Okay, question number 14 says, the ratio of similarity of square ABCD to square WXYZ is 2:5. If AB equals x plus 3 and WX equals 3x plus 5, then the perimeter of ABCD is. So, I have two squares and they're similar. So that means that the sides are proportional. So I have A, B, C, D, and then I have triangle square W, X, Y, Z. I know the measurements of side AB is x plus 3. The measurements of WX is 3x plus 5. I'm also told that the ratio of similarity is 2 to 5. That means that in order to find or to get the measurements of the length of the sides of square ABCD, I would need to take 2/5 of square WXYZ. Again, I keep saying triangle. Square WXYZ, right, is bigger than square ABCD. So in order to find ABCD, the length of its sides, I would need to find 2/5 of the side length of square WXYZ. So what I would do is I would do 2/5 of 3x plus 5 is equal to x plus 3. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it easier for myself. So I'm going to multiply the entire thing by 5. So when I multiply everything by 5, I'm going to get 2 times 3x plus 5 equals to 5x plus 15. I'm going to distribute, so you get 6x plus 10 equals 5x plus 15. I'm going to subtract 5x on both sides. I'm going to subtract 10 on both sides. And I'm going to get x equals 5. Now I need to find the perimeter. So if I need to find the perimeter, I need to find the length of one side. So x plus 3 is equal to the side length of AB. So I'm going to plug in 5 for x, and I'm going to get 8. So my side is equal to 8. And because it's a square and not a perimeter, what I can just do is I can do 8 times 4, and I'm going to get 32 as the perimeter to be answer choice number 3.